Hello Brawlers, is your game host manager is here again, ready to share with you another impressive character from our game. Now this character changed the course of Roman history. Yes, this hero is from the Terrans category, but before I introduce him to you, a little context. As many of you should know, throughout history, both in the past and present, people who were imprisoned have struggled to be freed from their captors. Now, in ancient Rome, these slaves were regarded as property, not as citizens, and they served as a source of skilled and unskilled labor, as it happened in the majority of civilizations around the world: Assyrian, Greek, American, and many more. Now, slave uprisings tended to occur, and of course, these were mainly a threat to those in power. And although most of the uprisings were swiftly put down by those in power, there was one particular uprising in the 1st century BCE in ancient Rome that posed such a great threat that the Roman Senate decided to send their two most powerful generals to put it down. That's how scared they were and how powerful this uprising was. Now, Brawlers, this little insurrection was led by a former gladiator, and it lasted 2 years, and it marked the beginning of the Third Civil War. Now, this gladiator, this former gladiator, happens to be our hero in the Eternal Brawl game. You guessed it right. Now, his name was Spartacus. Spartacus may have been a Roman soldier and was originally from Thrace, a region northeast of Macedonia. However, little is known of his early years. How he went from being a soldier to being captured and made into a gladiator is not really clear. However, it is known that because of his particularly distinctive physique and strength while he was a soldier, he caught the eye of a trainer and was sent to gladiator school in the south of Rome. Now, life in gladiator school, as you can all probably imagine, was harsh and very cruel. So, one day, he, using kitchen knives, revolted with 78 other slaves. He did this in 73 BCE. They were able to escape, and upon their escape, they ran into a small caravan carrying weapons. They seized it and fled. Now, as they were fleeing, local shepherds, local herdsmen, and more slaves started joining his army. Now, his small army swelled into having 70,000 people. Wow, it takes a real leader to be able to do that. Pretty impressive, Spartacus. Although Spartacus had considerably early success, even defeating the armies of 2 praetors, which were army commanders or elected magistrates, and defeating the governor of Cisalpine Gaul and seizing their weaponry, Spartacus knew that Rome would eventually win, so he intended to travel northward into the Alps and home. However, even though he had quickly abandoned the thought of attacking Rome, because of the fact that he had had so much success with these armies and all these defeats, it alarmed the Roman Senate so much so that they called upon a one-time follower of the Roman general and statesman Sulla, Marcus Crassus, to lead an army against him. Now, hoping to add to his forces, the beleaguered Spartacus called upon Cilician pirates to help him take him to Sicily. However, Crassus trapped the rebellious slaves and ended up killing 6,000 of them before they could make it to the island. They could not ever get to Sicily. However, guess what? Spartacus was able to break through, and he was able to escape, even defeating two of CRASSUS's lieutenants in the process. However, yes, he did this with only 1/3 of his force. It's so crazy that Spartacus was actually trying to step away from battles and all this fighting life, but they did not trust his intentions and did not want him as a free bird, it seems. Well, whether he wanted it or not, battling and fighting was part of his destiny, unescapable. Now, Brawlers, I'm sorry to say, but Spartacus was ultimately cornered and defeated at Lucania and killed. However, the weird thing is, his body was never found. Pretty curious, right? Anyhow, over 6,000 rebels were captured, crucified, and their bodies were displayed along the Appian Way from Capua to Rome. Isn't that horrifying and extremely cruel? Oh my god. Now, Marcus Crassus had hoped to completely defeat Spartacus and his followers before the return of Pompey, a military leader and politician during the time of the fall of the Roman Republic from Spain. However, he was not able to do this. Pompey returned in time to defeat 5,000 of Spartacus's followers, and so he took most of the glory himself, even though it was said that Crassus was the one that actually killed Spartacus. Yes. Now, in 70 BCE, they were both elected in a consulship. However, this resulted in a deep conflict. Moving forward, this whole war and Spartacus's role in it had a lasting effect. Julius Caesar, upon becoming a dictator for life, remembered Spartacus' rebellion, and he was determined to prevent another from happening. So, through a series of laws, he hoped to reduce the dependency on slaves by encouraging the hiring of free laborers. That's a huge step. It seems like Spartacus really affected how this society functioned, and definitely an example for the others around it. History has differing opinions on Spartacus. To some, he is a hero and a spokesman for the downtrodden. However, others seem to disagree. But what is a fact and what is known is that Spartacus led the most impactful slave revolt in Roman history. What a brave life story! Wow. But now the question is, will Spartacus inspire bravery in the Eternal Brawl game? Let's check out his skills to find out. Now, Spartacus has a comprehensive ability score on the battlefield of 73, with an attack mode of 73 and a defense mode of 70. He may easily dominate a battle. Now, he has an explosive force of 65 and a control level of 55. With a support rating of 30, he will be an amazing character. Now, Brawlers, what do you think of the Gladiator Spartacus? A true hero and leader, right? Oh my god, having thousands of followers and changing the course of Roman history? Not anyone can do that. And now, you will be able to summon him in the Eternal Brawl game. Pretty dope. Now, Brawlers, in the coming days, I'll be presenting other characters from the Eternal Brawl game, from the gods and goddesses, the demons, the monsters, the tyrants. And remember that you might also view them on the Eternal Brawl website, eternalbrawl.io. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our content. And follow us on Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, and Discord so you can stay in tune with all of the updates on this incredible metaverse. And without further ado, stay cool, Brawlers!